Hi there, Teresa. So let's take a look at your new set of essays. Glad to see your writing. Let's see what you did here. This is the trip to your, to another city. Let's see what you wrote your friend. Dear Victoria, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing you because I want to apologize for not being able to see you in spite the fact that I was in your city. Work meetings were extremely time consuming, so I wasn't able to do anything else. In addition, I want to tell you two things that happened to me. Okay, so, this is okay. Um, there are a couple things that I want to talk about. Um, Obviously, this is a letter to your friend, so it's supposed to be an informal letter. There are a couple of things happening in this letter that make me feel it's semi-formal, kind of formal. You're writing your friend, okay? So I hope this letter finds you well. This would be really much more appropriate in a semi-formal letter. To your friend, we don't say, I hope this letter finds you well. We say, how are you? We say, how are you doing? We say, dear Victoria, I hope everything is going well. Okay, I hope everything is going well is a lot friendlier than I hope this letter finds you well. So let's say that you said that. I hope everything is going well. And then this is super formal. This is really very typical in a formal letter where the first thing we do is we say the reason why we're writing. So I didn't really feel like this was appropriate here. I'm writing you because I want to apologize. It's just really too formal. Okay. So instead, if I were writing my friend and I wanted to apologize, I would say, I want you to know how sorry I am for not being able to see you, in spite of the fact that I was in your city. Okay, so those changes make this friendlier, more informal, more appropriate. All right, so let's try it again. Dear Victoria, I hope everything is going well. I want to let you know how sorry I am for not being able to see you when I was in your city. Okay, you could do that too. And then the rest of it was fine. This feels a little weird though. Okay, I mean, you don't really need it. So work meetings were extremely time consuming, so I wasn't able to do anything else. And I would leave this out, to be honest with you. Okay. Firstly, not I was arriving. I arrived at my hotel last Monday and I forgot my purse in the Uber. And in my purse, I had my phone and my wallet, so you can imagine how I was feeling. Fortunately, the receptionist from my hotel called my Uber, get rid of the two, and he returned my purse. Nevertheless, I lost around 5 hours in the process. Secondly, the same day, I went to eat sushi with my team for dinner, and I can tell you that the fish was bad because almost immediately I started to feel sick. Consequently, 2 hours later, I was I was at the doctor getting some medicines for the pain. The doctor, who is an expert in stomach diseases, ordered me to stay in and rest for at least the whole night. That would have made more sense. Therefore, although I was in your city for 3 days, I lost around a whole day between getting back my purse and the doctor. Okay, then again, this is really formal, hence. So get rid of it and then say, if I had not lost so much time, I would have seen you. My apologies again. I want to tell you, okay, now what you could do here is, again, you can make it a little less formal. You can say, my apologies again. And the good news is that I will be in Manchester next month. So I was wondering if you will be able to meet next June 15th. Please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Okay. That's fine. The best also I felt could have been a little friendlier, just, like your friend or much love or I don't know. I mean, kisses, any of that would have been okay. All right. So, um that's pretty much it about the letter. I thought you developed it well, but I thought you spent a lot of time talking about why you didn't meet, and then I thought that this was really short. I mean, the last bullet where you suggest when you can meet, it was just this little thing here. So I thought you maybe could have written a little less detail here. and then maybe you could have gone into a little more detail here instead. Um, let's see. I would have seen you. Okay, so let me give you some suggestions. Let's see. If I had not lost so much time, I would have been able to see you. Okay, then you could have said, now for some good news. My company is sending me back to Manchester next month. And so I will have another chance to see you. I am planning to be in your city the week of June 15th, and I would love to make up not seeing you to you or something like that. Let me know if you'll be free. There were some restaurants that I wanted to check out. Maybe we could go. So something like that. I mean, maybe that's a bit too much, but something like that is how you could have developed this. Because, like I said, you spent a ton of time developing the second bullet, but really not a lot developing the third. Even the first bullet, I mean, you talked about your apology here, and then you apologized again here. So I was, I was more okay with that, but I thought you should have done more with that third bullet. Okay? All right, let's go on to your next essay. It's a task 2, and we've got the traditional foods being replaced by fast food. Great. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated if you're missing an it here, if it is positive for society to replace traditional food with fast food. Some believe that time is money, so they agree with this replacement. Personally, I strongly disagree. Okay. I understand why you did it like this, but when you have two clauses, because these are two separate clauses, so they agree with this replacement. Basically, you don't have two clauses here. Actually, now that I look at it, you have 3. Some believe that time is money, so they agree with this replacement, but personally, I strongly disagree. Okay, because you have essentially 3 sentences that you've put into one. Here you have something linking these 2 pieces, but you have nothing linking the second with the third. And in fact, it's this connection that needs to be really, really clear, because these are 2 clauses that essentially contradict each other. They agree with this, but I don't. Okay, so you need to make that distinction, that contrast very clear by using but, by using however, by using yet right here. So this essay will discuss these issues using examples from recent studies and empirical research to demonstrate points and support arguments. Okay. Now, you say here you're going to discuss these issues. I'm not really clear on which issues you're going to discuss. Are you going to discuss, this idea of time is money, and so some people are in favor? If that's what you're going to do, then I disagree with that development. This is an opinion essay. It wants to know to what extent do you agree or disagree. So we don't want to know what other people think. We don't want to understand why they think time is money and so forth, unless you see some validity to that point of view. Okay? Or if you want to say their point of view just to say exactly what you think is wrong with it, okay? Because I see here that you've got on the one hand, on the other hand. So I'm curious as to how you're going to do this. If you can do it like that, and if you can justify explaining the other side of the argument, then you're okay. But if you're just going to talk about the other side, to make it more balanced, then no, that's not effective. All right, let's see what you did. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that traditional food is healthier than fast food. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, the preparation of traditional food brings families together so you can improve mental health. And secondly, it requires healthier ingredients for their preparation. For example, recent studies by Harvard University indicate that 85% of all people that consume traditional food live more than people who only consumed fast food. It must not be forgotten that although fast food can be tasty, it is not rich in proteins, which are an essential element for long lives. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that traditional food is healthier than fast food, and in consequence, its consumption, not its consumption, because it's fast food singular, is a positive element for families and society in general. Okay. I don't want to talk about this right now. It was fine. I mean, grammar and everything, that was all well controlled, so I was happy with all that. But as far as the development itself is concerned, I want to talk about that when I read your next paragraph. On the other hand, although there are advantages of consuming fast food, such as gain of time, easy preparation, and even accessibility, favoring the impact of consuming fast food can generate several disease. I don't understand this. I don't understand what happened. What does this mean? Can generate? I'm confused. Uh, so wait. Although there are advantages of consuming fast food, such as gain of time, which is an awkward expression, by the way, easy preparation, and even accessibility, the impact of consuming fast food can generate, no comma, so consuming fast food can generate several diseases among the population. So all of this needs to be gone, this favoring the impact of consuming. I mean, no, here, just this. Get rid of that and then the sentences. Okay. This is largely because this type of food has a substantial lack of proteins, which in the long term can be harmful for the human organism. In addition, the fast preparation does not incentivize the meetings of families. For example, a recent project by the Nutritional Hospital showed that 90% of people that consumed fast food had chronic, not chronicle, chronic diseases in their lives, whereas people that eat traditional food are healthier. Okay. To conclude from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that replacing traditional food by fast food is a negative development for society and families in general. In addition, it is predicted by the World Bank that in the future there will be an international law that will prohibit the consumption of fast food in children under 10 years old. Okay. Okay. So where do I want to start? I liked that this read easily. So you could see that I could get through it. There weren't a lot of areas of um, incoherence. I got through it. It flowed nicely. Were there some grammatical errors? Yeah, there were, but they didn't really present a problem. Okay, so that's a good thing. Uh, what concerns me is that you didn't really answer the question. What you tried to do in this essay was, I felt like you were answering a different question entirely. Um, what you answered for me was, let's see, some people, I don't know. I'm not really sure. You basically were talking about why we need to continue eating, um, we need to continue eating traditional food, okay, and the benefits of traditional food. But that is not at all what they asked you. They asked you basically if fast food is negatively affecting families, individuals, and society. Okay, so that's what you needed to focus on. You needed to focus on the negatives of fast food. You don't do that by talking about the positives of traditional food. I don't know if that makes sense. So I want to really simplify this and see if it makes sense what you were supposed to do here. Say, for example, the question was something similar. So say, for example, it was coffee is more popular than tea, and this is really a bad thing. Do you agree or disagree? You're supposed to talk about coffee, okay? You can talk about it in relation to tea, but the focus is supposed to be on coffee. Okay. What you did instead is you talked about how great and how wonderful tea is. Does that make sense? I really don't know. I hope it does. I'm trying to simplify it so you can understand how the focus is wrong. They asked you to talk about fast food essentially and the negative impact this replacement is having. What you did instead is you talked about why we should keep traditional foods and how they're good for us. So this is the wrong focus. You were supposed to talk about the negative impact on families, individuals, and society. I really didn't see that. Okay. So it's not entirely on topic. It's related. but it's not entirely on topic, okay? Um, so let me see if I can give you some suggestions on how you could have dealt with this. So I liked what you did here, that you had a paragraph that focused on families and society. So that's, I would have done something similar, but I would have said, for example, the negative impact. First of all, I would say that fast food has a negative impact on families. Okay, and then how would I explain that? I would say, well, first of all, families are now spending less time together, preparing meals, eating meals. Everyone is, on the go all day long, eating standing up, eating on the street. And so families are losing connections. Not only that, but families are also losing recipes, traditional recipes that may have been handed down from generation to generation. And this in turn has a very negative effect on society because, we're losing a huge part of cultural heritage when some of these family recipes get lost over time. Okay, so that's why I would have talked about it, the negative effect that fast food is having on families and society. Then, in the next paragraph, I would have talked about how it has a negative effect on individuals, and then I would talk about health. There can be no doubt that the nutrition of traditional food far exceeds that of fast food. You know what you're putting into ingredients, whereas into recipes, whereas with fast food, you never know the quality that's involved. You know that there's poor fats, there's poor quality meat, and so what you're seeing is individuals with obesity, with diabetes, with high blood pressure, cholesterol, and so forth. And this is very bad for the individual. However, it is also very bad for society because when you have a society full of um, unwell individuals, this has a negative effect on the health system and, of course, the society as a whole. Okay, so that's how I would have talked about this. I hope that makes sense. Let me know one way or another if it did or if it didn't make sense. I'm never really sure sometimes. So that's what I wanted to tell you about this. Okay, go ahead, correct these. Let's see more work. Keep at it. I know that you've been busy, so it's been hard to write your essays, but keep at it. Okay, and I'll be waiting to see more work from you.